Good evening, children. Last day we had done the concept of latent heat. Okay, so we had already discussed that generally there are three states of a matter: solids or solid state, liquids or liquid state, gases or gaseous state. Okay, to change from solid to liquid, the process name of the process is melting. Reverse process, that is from liquid to solid, is known as freezing. Liquids to gaseous state, that is vaporization. Gaseous state to liquid state, that is known as condensation. Okay, what is latent heat? Amount of heat required for unit mass of a substance to change its state completely into another state, keeping its temperature as constant, is called the latent heat of the substance for the corresponding change of state. Okay, now consider solids and liquid. Name of the process is melting, means solid is transferred into liquid. So latent heat of melting. What is latent heat of melting? The amount of heat required for unit mass of the solid to completely change into liquid, keeping its temperature as constant, is called the latent heat of melting. Now what is the constant temperature? Keeping its temperature as constant. What is the constant temperature? The temperature, constant temperature, is the melting point. Means the solid starts to convert into liquid, okay, at the melting point, and the temperature at melting point remains constant until the entire solid turns into liquid. Okay, reverse way. Latent heat of freezing. Amount of heat required to release from 1 unit mass of the liquid to change its state completely into solid at the freezing point, and temperature is constant at freezing point, then that amount of heat is called the latent heat of freezing. So constant temperature is freezing point, right? Latent heat of vaporization. Amount of heat required to change the state of unit mass of solid, the unit mass of liquid, to gaseous state, keeping its temperature as constant at boiling point, is called the latent heat of vaporization. And latent heat of condensation means gaseous state to liquid state, the amount of heat that is released in unit mass of gaseous state to change it completely into liquid state, keeping its temperature as constant. Temperature as constant means at constant condensation point, is known as latent heat of condensation. Okay. Next, two information you should know, that latent heat of latent heat of melting of ice is equal to 80 calorie per gram. Okay. Similarly, latent heat of freezing of water is same, 80 calorie per gram. Okay. Latent heat of vaporization of water is equal to approximate value 537 calorie per gram. Okay. Latent heat of condensation of steam is same, 537 calorie per gram. First two steps. Melting of ice means ice is converted into ice to water. The corresponding latent heat is, the value of the corresponding latent heat is 80 calorie per gram. Okay. Next one, latent heat of freezing of water means water turns into ice. Corresponding latent heat is 80 calorie per gram. Next to latent heat of vaporization of water. Water turns into steam. Corresponding latent heat 537 calorie per gram. Latent heat of condensation of steam means steam is converted into water. So the value, corresponding value is corresponding latent heat is 537 calorie per gram. Okay. So latent heat of melting and latent heat of freezing, numerical values are same. Okay. Latent heat of vaporization of a liquid and latent heat of condensation of the gaseous state, the numerical values are same. Understood? Our next topic, is specific heat, represented by small s. Specific heat represented by small s. Okay. What is the definition of specific heat? The amount of heat required to increase the temperature of 1 unit mass of a substance by 1 degree is called the specific heat of the body or specific heat of the substance. 1 unit mass means unit mass of the substance. Unit mass, very important term. Unit means the numerical value of the mass is 1. Either it is 1 gram or 1 kg, depending on the system of units that we are using. Okay. So what is the specific heat? The amount of heat, required to increase the temperature of unit mass of a substance by 1 degree. That is called specific heat. Okay. 1 degree means 1 degree centigrade or 1 Kelvin. Now, suppose we are considering a body of arbitrary mass m. Okay. The increase in temperature is T degree. Okay. We are supplying some amount of heat from outside. Suppose the heat amount of heat is Q. Due to the application of this heat Q, the change in temperature means the temperature is increased by T degree. Okay. Specific heat is represented by small s. Okay. What is the definition of specific heat? Amount of heat required to increase the unit mass of a substance. Increase the temperature of unit mass of a substance by 1 degree. This is specific heat. Specific heat is represented by S. So we can write this one is equal to S. S greater we write S unit. Okay. Amount of heat required to increase the temperature of unit mass of a substance by 1 degree is called specific heat of the substance. Since specific heat is represented by small s, so we can write of a substance by 1 degree is equal to S unit. Okay. We have considered the mass of the body is m. Right. So apply unitary method. That amount of heat required to increase the temperature of m mass of a substance by 1 degree is equal to ms unit. right? This unit mass means the value, numerical value is 1 gram or 1 kg, depending on the system of unit that we are using. Okay, we are drawing the diagram again. Mass of the body M, increase in temperature T due to the application of heat Q. Okay, so the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of M unit mass of a substance by 1 degree ms unit. Increase in temperature is T degree. So we can write that amount of heat required to increase the temperature of M unit mass of a substance by T degree is equal to MST unit. Understood? What is MST unit? The total amount of heat required to increase the temperature of M mass of a body by T degree centigrade. Okay. Previously, we have considered that this total amount of heat is Q. So, we can conclude that Q is equal to MST unit. Right? Simplify. S is equal to Q divided by MT unit. What is S? S is the specific heat of the body. Okay. This relation is the mathematical form of specific heat. Clear? So the total amount of heat required to increase the temperature of unit mass of a substance by 1 degree centigrade, 1 degree is called the specific heat of the body, and the mathematical form is Q by MT. Okay. Now you have to mention all the terms in this expression. What are the terms? Q. What is Q? Q is the total amount of heat that is required to increase the temperature of M mass of the body by T degree. That is total amount of heat. Q is the total amount of heat. M. What is M? M is the mass of the body. What is T? T is the temperature difference or increase in temperature, not the temperature of the body. The term temperature of the body, that is wrong. It is increase in temperature of the body or change in temperature of the body. Right? So S means specific heat of the body. Q, total amount of heat that is required to increase the temperature by T degree of M mass of the body. M is the mass of the arbitrary mass of the body, and T is the increase in temperature of the body. Okay. For a particular substance, specific heat is always constant. For a particular substance, the value of S is constant. For water, the value of S is constant. For milk, the value of S is constant, like this. Okay. Next topic. Unit of specific heat. Let us first write the formula of specific heat. Q is equal to MST, which implies S is equal to Q divided by MT. Formula of specific heat. Okay. Unit of specific heat. Number 1 in CGS system. Look at the formula. Right hand side. In the numerator, Q is here. What is Q? Total amount of heat. In CGS system, what is the unit of Q? Calorie. Okay. Denominator. Mass is there. CGS unit of mass. Gram. T. Temperature difference or increase in temperature. CGS unit. Degree centigrade. That means calorie per gram degree centigrade. Okay. Number 2. In SI system. SI unit of Q, joule. SI unit of mass, kg, SI unit of temperature difference, Kelvin, or we can write joule per kg Kelvin or joule per kg degree Celsius. One question may arise that why joule per kg Kelvin and why joule per kg degree Celsius, why both are same? Because we know that 1 Kelvin and 1 degree centigrade both are not same. So how we can write that joule per kg Kelvin is equal to joule per kg degree centigrade. Okay. 1 Kelvin temperature and 1 degree centigrade temperature both are not same. But what is T in this formula? What is T in this equation? T is the temperature difference or increase in temperature. Okay. And in the temperature, from the temperature scale, in standard 7 we have done that in temperature scale, fundamental interval, Fi means fundamental interval of C scale is equal to 100 minus 0 degree Celsius. What is 100? Upper fixed point. What is 0? Lower fixed point. Difference between upper fixed point and lower fixed point, that is fundamental interval. Fundamental interval of C scale is 100 degrees Celsius. Fundamental interval of Kelvin scale. K scale means Kelvin scale. Upper fixed point of Kelvin scale 373 Kelvin. Lower fixed point 273 Kelvin. So the fundamental interval is 100 Kelvin. What is fundamental interval? Difference between upper fixed point and lower fixed point. Fundamental interval for K scale, difference between upper fixed point and lower fixed point. Okay, so we can write that 100 degrees Celsius difference is equal to 100 K difference. Both are same, difference is same, fundamental intervals are same. That means 1 degree Celsius difference is equal to 1 Kelvin difference. Very important point, that is difference. 1 degree Celsius difference and 1 Kelvin difference both are same. Difference in Celsius scale, difference of temperature in Celsius scale and the difference of temperature in Kelvin scale both are same. Differences are same but not the particular temperature. Particular temperatures are not same. 1 Kelvin and 1 degree Celsius not same. They are not same. But 1 degree Celsius difference means change, the difference between two successive readings in Celsius scale and the difference of temperature between two successive readings in Kelvin scale both are same. Okay, in the equation T is the temperature difference. Temperature difference in Celsius scale and temperature difference in Kelvin scale both are same. So we can write that joule per kg Kelvin and joule per kg degree Celsius both are same. Temperature, particular temperature 1 degree C, 1 degree C and 1 K both are not same, but 1 degree Celsius difference and 1 K difference, they are same. So we can write this joule per kg Kelvin and joule per kg degree Celsius both are same. Clear? So CGS unit of specific heat. So we have done that. CGS unit of specific heat is calorie per gram degree Celsius. SI unit joule per kg Kelvin or joule per kg degree Celsius. Both are same. Okay. Next topic, relation between CGS and SI units of specific heat. Relation between CGS and SI units of relation between CGS and SI units of specific heat. CGS unit calorie per gram degree Celsius, SI unit joule per kg Kelvin or joule per kg degree Celsius. Okay, start from CGS unit. 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius. Nothing is written before calorie means we can write 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius. We can write it like this: 1 calorie divided by 1 gram degree Celsius. 1 divided by 1 means 1. Okay. 1 calorie is equal to how much joule? 4.2 joule. Right? 1 gram. 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joule. 1 gram is equal to 1 by 1000 kg, or we can write 1 by 10 cube kg is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 kg. Okay. So 1 gram means 10 to the power minus 3 kg. Degree centigrade will be as it is. 10 to the power minus 3, it will go to the numerator. So after simplification, we will get 4200 joule per kg degree Celsius. Since the difference in Celsius scale and difference in Kelvin scale both are same, so we can write it as 4200 joule per kg Kelvin. So what will be in the left hand side? 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius is equal to 4200 joule per kg degree Celsius or 4200 joule per kg Kelvin. This is the required relation between CGS and SI units of specific heat. Clear? This is the required relation between CGS and SI units of specific heat. Okay? Specific heat of water is maximum and its value is specific heat of water is 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius. Just now we have done that 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius is equal to 4200 joule per kg Kelvin or 4200 joule per kg degree Celsius. This value is maximum. Specific heat of water is maximum and the value is 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius, or in SI system 4200 4200 joule per kg Kelvin or 4200 joule per kg degree Celsius. Okay. Next topic, thermal capacity or heat capacity. Thermal capacity or heat capacity. What is thermal capacity? The amount of heat required to increase the temperature of any arbitrary mass of a substance by 1 degree Celsius, by 1 degree not Celsius, by 1 degree is called the thermal capacity of the body. Okay. Consider a body of arbitrary mass m. Okay. And the specific heat of the body is S. Okay. Suppose small q heat is supplied to the body from outside. Okay. Such that the increase in temperature of the body is 1 degree. That is the increase in temperature. Increase in temperature of the body is 1 degree. Okay. According to the definition of specific heat, we can write that the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of unit mass of a body by 1 degree, that is S. Okay, arbitrary mass of the body is M. Apply unitary method. The amount of heat required to increase the temperature of M mass of the same body by 1 degree, that is ms is unit, ms unit. Okay, what is the definition of thermal capacity? The amount of heat required to increase the temperature of any arbitrary mass of the body by 1 degree is called the thermal capacity of the body. Thermal capacity of the body or thermal capacity of the substance. Here we got that the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of m mass of the body by 1 degree is ms unit. Okay, in the example we have considered that q amount of heat, small q amount of heat is supplied to the body and body of mass m, and the increase in temperature is 1 degree. From the calculation we got that the amount of heat is ms unit, that the amount of heat is ms unit, such that due to the application of the heat, the change in temperature of the body is 1 degree. So we can write Q is equal to ms unit. This Q is nothing but the thermal capacity of the body. Okay. What is the difference between specific heat and thermal capacity? In case of specific heat, the mass of the body is unit. Increase in temperature of the body is also unit, means 1 degree. But in case of thermal capacity, the mass of the body is arbitrary. Okay, but the increase in temperature is 1 degree. 1 degree C or 1 K, depending on the temperature scale that we are using. Okay, next topic, unit of thermal capacity. Unit of thermal capacity. Formula Q is equal to ms unit. Okay, another formula is here. Previously we have done Q equals to mst. That means we can write Q by T, that is ms. What is ms? Ms is nothing but the thermal capacity of the body. So we can write thermal capacity is also Q by T. Okay. Unit number 1 in CGS system. Follow this formula. Mass and specific heat. CGS unit of mass, gram, specific heat, calorie per gram degree Celsius. Gram and gram cancelled out. So we can write calorie per degree Celsius. Okay. Follow this formula. Q, total amount of heat. CGS unit is Q. T, temperature difference. Unit is degree C. So the CGS unit is calorie per gram degree Celsius. Sorry, calorie per degree Celsius. Okay. Number 2 in SI system. SI system, follow this formula. SI unit of mass, kg. SI unit of specific heat, joule by kg Kelvin. Kg cancelled out. Joule by Kelvin. Kelvin is the temperature unit of temperature difference in Kelvin scale. So we can write or joule per degree Celsius, since it is the increase in temperature. Follow this formula. Q, total amount of heat. SI unit is joule. T, temperature difference. SI unit means in Kelvin scale, it is K. Or if you consider the Celsius scale, the increase in temperature unit is degree C. So joule per Kelvin or joule per degree Celsius, that is the SI unit of thermal capacity. Okay. Next topic and most important topic, principle of calorimetry. Principle of calorimetry. Consider two systems. A, two isolated bodies. B, mass of body A M1, specific heat of the body is S1, mass of body B M2, specific heat is S2, initial temperature of the body A is T1 degree, initial temperature of body B is T2 degree. Let us consider that T1 degree is greater than T2 degree. Okay. Now, the two bodies are kept in contact. Kept in contact like this. Then what will be the diagram? Two bodies are kept in contact. A, B. It is a composite system, right? Mass of body A, M1, specific heat S1. Mass of body B, M2, specific heat is S2. T1 degree is the temperature of first body. T2 degree is temperature of the second body. Since T1 is greater than T2, that means heat will be, we know that heat is transferred from higher temperature to lower temperature. So heat will be transferred from body A to body B. Okay, but there are some conditions. What are the conditions? Number one, no heat transfer takes place from the system to the surroundings and surroundings to the system. This is the composite system. No heat transfer should be taken place from the system to the surroundings and surroundings to the system. So we can write that no heat transfer should take place from the system to the surroundings and vice versa. Number two, no solution is produced. No solution is produced. Number three, no chemical reaction should take place. If any chemical reaction takes place, then the chemical reaction may be either exothermic or endothermic. Then some amount of heat will be either absorbed or evolved, but we cannot calculate that amount of heat. Okay, so no means we cannot calculate that amount of heat that is absorbed or evolved in the heat transfer from A to B in the composite system. So no chemical reaction should take place in the composite system, means in the components. Number four, no change of state should take place. If there is if suppose the component A changes its state, then some amount of latent heat is required, but we cannot calculate that latent heat in the transfer of heat between the components of the composite system. So no change of state of any component should take place. If these conditions are satisfied, then the amount, then heat is transferred from hotter body to the colder body. Okay, after some time, the temperature of the composite system will be same. Suppose that temperature is T degree. Okay, when this condition is attained, then the condition is called thermal equilibrium condition. Thermal, what is thermal equilibrium? The condition, the state, the time when the temperature of the composite system is same for both the components. That condition is called thermal equilibrium. Okay, when the thermal equilibrium is attained, temperature of the composite system becomes T degree. Okay, so we can write T1 degree means the temperature of the hotter body is greater than the equilibrium temperature T degree. Okay, why? Because initially T1 degree is greater than T2 degree. Heat is transferred from hotter body to colder body. So the temperature of the first body means hotter body is in decreasing order. Okay, after some time the temperature is attained at T degree. Okay, so definitely T1 degree is greater than T degree. Clear? Again, the equilibrium temperature T degree is greater than the initial temperature of the colder body. Why? Because the body B, that means the colder body, is absorbing heat from the hotter body in the composite system. So the temperature of the colder body is in increasing order. Okay, increasing order. After some time thermal equilibrium is attained. So equilibrium temperature T degree is greater than the initial temperature of the colder body. Okay, combining these two relations, we can write that T1 degree is greater than T degree is greater than T2 degree. Right? Initial temperature of first body is greater than equilibrium temperature. Again, the equilibrium temperature is greater than the initial temperature of the colder body. Okay. When the thermal equilibrium is attained in the composite system, then the heat absorbed by the or heat lost by the hotter body is equal to the heat gained by the colder body. Heat lost by the hotter body. Hotter body means the temperature, the body whose temperature is greater, and colder body means the body whose temperature is lesser than the another one. So the heat lost by the hotter body and heat gained by the colder body both are same under thermal equilibrium condition. This relation, this statement is known as principle of calorimetry. Okay, so heat, what is principle of calorimetry? Heat lost by hotter body is equal to heat gained by colder body. Heat lost by hotter body is equal to heat gained by colder body. Which condition? Under thermal equilibrium. Okay. Now consider this example. Example of the composite system. A, B, M1 S1, M2 S2, T1 degree, T2 degree, equilibrium temperature is at 80 degree, T1 degree is greater than T degree is greater than T2 degree. Hotter body, colder body. Okay, so and initially T1 degree is greater than T2 degree. Okay, so heat lost by body A, means hotter body, is Q1, suppose it is Q1, is equal to M1 S1, temperature difference of hotter body. What is the temperature difference of hotter body? Initial temperature was T1, final temperature means the equilibrium temperature of the composition system is T. That means that increase in the change in temperature is T1 minus T. Okay, from which formula we have got it? Total amount of heat Q is equal to mass of the body, specific heat of the body, change of temperature of the body. Okay, so heat lost by the body A means hotter body is Q1 is equal to M1 mass of the hotter body A, S1 specific heat of the hotter body A, increase change in temperature, that is T1 minus T. Okay, decrease in temperature, not increase, decrease in temperature T1 minus T. Okay, next heat gained by body B is Q2, consider it as Q2 is equal to, follow this formula, mass of the colder body M2, specific heat S2, change in temperature of colder body T is greater than T2, so definitely it is T minus T2 degree. Okay, that is increase in temperature of the colder body. Okay, what is principle of calorimetry? When the thermal equilibrium is attained, the heat lost by the hotter body and heat gained by the colder body both are same. So we can write according to the principle of calorimetry, both are same. Q1 is equal to Q2, which implies M1 S1 T1 degree minus T degree is equal to M2 S2 T degree minus T2 degree. Okay, what is the condition? Under thermal equilibrium. Okay, so under thermal equilibrium, M1 S1 T1 minus T means temperature, decrease in temperature of hotter body is equal to M2 S2 into increase in temperature of the colder body. So last line, from the last line we can write M1 S1 T1 degree minus T degree is equal to M2 S2 T degree minus T2 degree. Okay, it is in decrease in temperature, increase in temperature. So we can write M1 S1 del T1 is equal to M2 S2 del T2. What is del? What is del T1 and what is del T2? Delta stands for change. Delta is used to represent the change in any physical quantity. Here the physical quantity is temperature. So delta T1 means change in temperature for the first body. 1 stands for first body, means the hotter body. Here the first body is considered as hotter body. So T1 means change, delta T1 means change in temperature for the temperature of the hotter body. Okay, so mention the term where delta T1 is equal to T1 minus T degree is equal to decrease in temperature or change in temperature of hotter body. Okay, similarly delta T2 and delta T2 is equal to T minus T2 degree is equal to change in temperature of colder body. Okay, M1 S1 del T1 is equal to M2 S2 del T2. This is the mathematical form of principle of calorimetry and the condition, under which condition? Under thermal equilibrium. Under thermal equilibrium, the heat lost by the hotter body is equal to heat gained by the colder body. Okay, numericals will come based on this relation. Suppose masses of both the bodies are given, specific heat of one body is given, equilibrium temperature is also given, and initial temperatures of hotter body and colder bodies are given. Okay, and you have to find the specific heat of the colder body or hotter body. Or suppose all the data are given and you have to find the temperature or under thermal equilibrium means equilibrium temperature. Okay, so numericals will come based on this relation. Also the numericals will come based on the formula of specific heat, based on the formula of latent heat. Okay, today we shall stop here, and next class we will discuss about the rest of the topic of heat chapter. Thank you, children.